Hi everybody, this is Noelle from Petitti Garden Centers, and we're here at our Oakwood Village store, and we hang out here quite a bit in the winter time, like to get those sun rays through the greenhouse. And we're gonna do what's in store for February. We haven't taken a tour since October, maybe? So let's look at what's here. And of course, the store is just coming together, getting their spring items here, getting closer and closer to spring every day. That's what we always look forward to. And right behind me is a lot of color for, I think, your special someone for Valentine's Day. So you can see really cute air plants and their nice little I'm going to pick this up. This is magnetized on the back, and of course air plants can survive just out in the open. You can place them on a windowsill. You can actually glue them to a picture frame if you want to. And then these are in a cute little bucket there with the heart-shaped air balloon. Those are kind of popular. It seems like air balloons are really, really popular these days, and really cute. Again, your air plant is part of the bromeliad family, non-toxic, really good for people and pets. Obviously air cleaner, but they do need to be spray misted. So do make sure that you're doing that. And especially if the house is very dry, during the winter for air circulation, make sure you're getting the mister out there. That really, really helps them, okay? Down below, just a few more air plants and hearts, of course. And then look at, we do have some bulbs, and we are going to have more of these, but look at that beautiful tulip, has kind of a ruffled petal to it. Really, really gorgeous. When you get forced bulbs like this in the wintertime, keep them cooler. Even at night, you can kind of keep them in a cooler spot. You can even put them in the refrigerator, believe it or not. And when you do that, they kind of tend to close a little bit more, stay tighter a little bit longer, and then you can bring them out during the day and, have them out in the kitchen or the dining room or what have you. And then same thing at night, go ahead and put them in a cooler spot. You're not going to be looking at them at that time, and that'll just keep that flower much longer for you. So we're looking forward to, we've got the tulips here, but the daffodils are coming, the hyacinth are coming. So spring is on its way, everybody. Got some beautiful bromeliads as well. So bromeliad gardens, and I'm going to show you a few other colors because we've got some spectacular varieties. But check out, the primrose are here, and that's always one of our favorite February plants. And I sort of treat the primrose indoors like I do the bulbs, where they're really a cool, perennial plant. They do really prefer those cooler temperatures. And so if you do place them out in a warm, sunny area during the day, go ahead and keep them in a cooler spot at night, and that'll keep them blooming longer for you. Even moisture to just slightly dry on these. Pick and deadhead as those flowers fade, you'll get more. Whenever you're trying to purchase a primrose, always look down in the middle of the plant. I'm trying to separate these out, but Taylor will come in a little bit closer, and you see all those buds in there. That's what you're looking for, okay? So make sure that you've got some nice buds right down in the center, and that's gonna be kind of your second flush, if you will, after these guys fade, okay? Bright sun for these, but again, cooler windowsill. So just remember that. So bright indirect light to some sun works really, really well, but not hot rooms, cooler rooms, okay? So keep that in mind. Let's move down the aisle here. Oh my gosh, look at this gorgeous one. Look at the heart-shaped Phalaenopsis. This is a mini Phalaenopsis orchid. It really is a great time of year for the Phalaenopsis orchids. They do bloom at this time of year. Late winter, early spring is really their natural bloom time. This one obviously has been trained into that heart shape, which was lovely for the upcoming holiday. And great plant. Again, air purifying, orchids are wonderful for that. These are non-toxic to people and plants, or pets, people and plants, people and pets, and also lots of colors. So you could get the minis, of course, which come in yellow, striped, polka dotted, all different colors, whites, purples, pinks, yellows even. So look for that, but I think those phales are absolutely gorgeous at this time of year. Down below, I do have a few dianthus. So you're probably familiar with this. We've got annual dianthus, perennial types of dianthus. This one's going to be more of an annual type or a florist type where it's been forced to bloom at this time of year for Valentine's Day, of course, but very, very fragrant. Double blooms, and these are actually called the I Love You dianthus. So there you go, but beautiful pink coloring on this little one. And then as we keep on moving down this way, I just wanted Taylor to take a look at this nerve plant. This is also known as Fittonia, and I'll show you other varieties of this, but this plant couldn't be more gorgeous. Look at the coloration on that. And with the nerve plant, the color is usually in the veins of the leaf, so that's kind of how it gets its name, and it has that nice kind of nerve spread out pattern to it. And this is a great little house plant. Again, non-toxic, people and pet friendly, so lots of different colors too. So that might be a good option for someone you love as well. I wanted to show you some of these cool bromeliad colors, and like I was showing you just up front, there are just some beautiful Guzmania types with the blush pink and then the white bracts, if you will, really, really beautiful. And then look at these really, really deep reds with the white tips. I think they're beautiful, especially for February, very appropriate colors down here. Again, these types of plants, the bromeliads, are very, very easy to take care of. Bright indirect lighting, but all you have to do is water inside their cistern of leaves once a week. So you just fill the cistern with water, okay, and then go ahead and dump it out over the sink, and then go ahead and fill it again once every 7 days. That's it. So that's always really, really nice. Very easy care on the bromeliads. I have anthurium as well, and we have all different colors. This one's a beautiful pink. There's orange, there's deep bright reds as well. The anthuriums are really coming up through, I should say, the flowering tropical plant scene as, again, a very long lasting blooming plant. Very, very easy care. And we talk about you can use ice cubes to water this plant as well. It's usually about a half a cup of water one time per week, okay? Or they say about 5 ice cubes. I think it kind of depends on how big your ice cubes are. But again, about a half cup of water once per week. Go ahead and water them. Set them back. Don't let them sit in water. You want them to drain. And then go ahead and just repeat. And again, bright indirect light for these guys because you want them to keep their coloration up, but really long lasting bloom. So those are really fun at this time of year too. I wanted to show you kind of a new house plant for us out here. This is actually in the Tradescantia family or inch plant family. This one's called Bright Star, and the botanical name is Merdania. And Merdania is, as you can tell, just a little bit different. Does have a little bit of a Tradescantia look to it. A little bit wider foliage, but this beautiful silver middle white, or excuse me, there's a little bit of white striping, but a green margin on it, like undulated leaves. But when they bloom, they're just starting these little stems here, Taylor. When they bloom, it's called several flower plant, and it's because these stems will grow out, they'll be really, really airy, and then they have a bunch of little kind of creamy white to just blush pink, slightly blush pink flowers, and it's cool. Easy plant to take care of. In the Tradescantia family, they will grow out like Tradescantia too, so you'll start to kind of get longer stems and more leaf growth on them as they grow. But neat variety, I really like it. So look for Bright Star out there. I wanted to show you a great house plant at this time of year, the lipstick plant. And you're probably familiar with this one. This one's a little bit darker colored, that sort of chocolate lipstick plant, sort of fuzzy, at times fuzzy or glossy leaves, a little bit thick and waxy. These plants are really, really fun to grow. You're looking again at that bright indirect lighting typically, and but there's so many different varieties out there now. You used to just see the red, which is up above here, and I'm gonna grab it really quick. That red one's blooming. That's a real typical variety there in the trailing plant, and they'll continue to grow and fill out and trail and so forth. And you can take cuttings of them. They're very easy to root, especially in a rooting hormone. Dip them in the rooting hormone, put them in moist soil, and cover them up with that clear plastic bag, and they root really, really quickly. But you have other colors, obviously the chocolate, but look at this one. This one's called Twister. Look at the foliage and how it's just curling. It has a really pretty kind of silvery underside here. And then this one is Bolero bicolor. So it's got that really pretty variegated leaf. Obviously much smaller foliage types, but they're still blooming. This one is all budded up on the tips. So it's really starting to come out there. And you know what? They are great plants again for pets and people too. So no toxicity here with the lipstick plant. So that's awesome. And then these guys are just hanging above some of the larger floor plants. We have the beautiful big anthurium, the bright red variety right here. So if you're looking for something a little bit bigger for the home, that would be great. I think the Easy Care rubber plants are always really, really nice. This is obviously a variegated form. I think this is Tinky, but I can't see it. Oh, yes, it is. So Tineki, Tinky, I've heard it pronounced all different ways, folks, but beautiful variegated leaf here, very large leaves. Again, with the rubber plants inside the home, those are like medium indirect light. You can go up to bright indirect light with them. And the watering in the soil is on the drier side of watering, just slightly dry. But they really are very, very easy care. And again, because these leaves are so waxy and succulent, they hold on to more water. So they don't need as much watering as some of the other ficus family, which they are a part of. And that beautiful burgundy one in the back, Taylor, did you see this one? Absolutely gorgeous, like deep, dark burgundy leaves. Really, really beautiful. At this time of year, we see some really beautiful colors on cactus. And this is actually a grafted cactus, beautiful columnar cactus underneath. And then you have like this colored barrel cactus on top. These are gymnocalcium, I think. Don't quote me on that, Taylor. We will definitely post the correct name for you. But you'll see all different colors. So this one's beautiful, bright orange. There's a lovely pink here, reds, even yellows. So very, very fun. If your loved one's into cacti, this is always a good one to try and have fun with, experiment with. And of course, the graft is right at the base of this, cushion type right here. What's neat about these guys at this time of year is they can tolerate our warmer, drier spaces. And if you're getting some sunlight through the windows or even bright indirect light, they'll do just fine. But the soil, you want to make sure that it dries to the point that it has pulled away from the sides of the pot. Wait for that to happen before you thoroughly re-moisten the soil substrate that's in that pot, okay? And that's really the key with taking care of succulents over the winter. You never want to overwater them. You do not want them to stay moist. You definitely don't want them sitting in water, but do thoroughly moisten that soil, let all that water drain out, do it one more time, set them back in their spot, and wait until that soil totally dries out again and it's pulling away from the sides of the pot. That's your indication that you need to rewater again, okay? So really, really cute. I like these guys too, and we see them around at this time of year. I'm gonna pull this one out of the pot, and if you come closer, it's a little heart-shaped Hoya, okay? So Hoya plants, sometimes called wax flower. These guys are really fun. They're very, very slow growers though, this heart-shaped variety. Sometimes you will see the hearts coming from the base of this plant as they produce. Sometimes they'll actually produce from that cleft in the heart. So that's always really fun. Again, some direct sun, too bright indirect light with these, they can go drier like a succulent. So that's fine too. Again, over winter, when these plants really aren't doing a lot of work during the day, you don't want to overwater, okay? And they can take some moisture. I mean, this soil is pretty moist. There's only one leaf working here. So this could go really, really drier before, again, you're re-moistening the soil. So do keep that in mind, but fun plant to grow. Plenty of succulents for those of you that have loved ones that are into succulents, and beautiful succulent gardens, really, really pretty, that are available. This one has string of dolphins in it. It has several rosettes of some of the echeverias here. We have a haworthia right here, really, really fun. Jade plant is in the back. So this is a good combo. It's really, really pretty. Lots of different colors and foliage types as well. Again, with these container gardens, do be aware. I looked on the bottom of this, so I don't have to show you that, but there's no drainage holes in this. So the watering needs to be very careful that you don't overwater, and just moistening the soil slightly is really all you're going to need to do. Wait for that soil to dry again, pull away from the sides of the pot before you do rewater, okay? These plants can pretty much take care of themselves since they have all of that water stored in their waxy foliage, so that's always a good thing. And lots of cacti and succulents. I'm gonna walk back this way, and you can look at some of these, some of the aloes that are available at this time of year, really, really beautiful. Again, some larger echeverias. This is actually called a Christmas echeveria, and it's blooming right now, which they will do at different times of the year. Sometimes we see them bloom late summer, kind of end of summer, early autumn, but this one obviously early blooming variety. The haworthias we absolutely love, and that's a haworthia combo. You can see the 3 different varieties of haworthia in there, sometimes called zebra plant. There's a lot of plants called zebra plant, so I just stick with haworthia. Again, with the echeverias and the haworthias, again, really good pet and people plant, so very, very low toxicity. So that's always a nice idea when you're looking for plants that fit that category, if you're concerned about that. But tons of selection, my gosh. The Rapsalis cactus, this is a little, I'll pull this out, Taylor. This is what we call a mistletoe cactus. Because it does produce these little like white kind of bulbous seed pods on it. It's really kind of a fun plant to grow inside, no problem there. And just, again, there's our Hoya hearts, but beautiful barrel cactus too, lots of different varieties. Oh, and check out this one, it's blooming. So look at the one right in the center, Taylor. So we've got some blooms on some of the cacti here today as well. So since we're on the subject of Valentine's Day, I did want to show you again some plants that have that beautiful heart shape, or what we call cordate type foliage, okay? And one of them real typical of having that, look at how beautiful this philodendron is, okay? So this is just your standard green philodendron. We use these as, hanging plants. We'll put them at the tops of, entertainment systems and all those types of things because they're just so easy. But that beautiful dark green heart is real indicative of this type of philodendron. And you'll see that here, we've got Brazil. Brazil is a really pretty, obviously, green and gold bicolor, and see how that stripe kind of runs down through the middle of the heart there and sort of expands as it gets a little bit older. But I wanted to show you that when monstera are young, look at these guys. So look at how those heart-shaped leaves are when they're young, and of course as they get older, all of those fenestrations, the cutouts in their leaves, that's what they are called, they start to really come as they mature. So fenestrations come as that maturity of the plant comes, and but they start out as little heart-shaped guys at the beginning. So that's always really, really fun. And I did want to show you, Look at this one. So if anyone's interested in ferns, I think this is one of your easier fern varieties to grow. And this is the true heart-shaped fern. So it's called a heart fern. And really, really beautiful. Leaves are glossy on the top and fuzzy on the bottom. Kind of a unique, like I said, shape for a fern because it doesn't produce those typical fronds that we talk about with the fern family. And again, medium indirect light, okay? Obviously, if you're a good waterer, you'd like to keep this one evenly moist. That's really nice. High humidity, of course, they would love that. So keep it in a more humid place, maybe the kitchen, the bathroom, what have you, if you have good lighting. And this one will be a really pretty one for Valentine's Day as well. One other thing that I wanted to mention as far as houseplants are concerned, you know, when we get into winter months, sometimes we find some issues, you know, maybe it's dry edges on our leaves or tips of our leaves. That's usually an indicator of low humidity again. So try to increase the humidity, and you can do that several different ways by spray misting, just with a misting bottle and water, no problem. Do that in the morning so that plant has the entire day to use that water. And it evaporates. We don't want those plants to be wet going into the nighttime. You can put a humidity tray underneath. So tray with pebbles, fill the pebbles up with water just to the top of the pebbles, and you set your plants right on that humidity tray. Let that water evaporate, and it'll slowly evaporate and create that higher humidity condition. You can also put a humidifier on your plants, and that's always going to help, or group your plants together. The more plants that are grouped together, the more humidity they create for themselves. So that's always really good idea. Also look out in drier conditions. We end up seeing a lot more spider mites. So if you're finding small, very thin webs, especially when you spray mist, look for those webs, look for like stippling, like little white dots or black dots along the foliage. That's an indication of spider mites as well. And what can you use to control that? Very easy. I have it hidden right here in the Monstera, but really all you need is neem oil. This one is Neem Max. It's a nice little squirt spray for your houseplant area. But what's nice about Neem Max or neem oil is that you can use it outdoors and indoors, safe in both places. And it not only controls spider mites, but it controls other labeled insects. Plus, it helps with reducing any fungal issues that are on the surface of the leaf. So this is a nice product to have, especially if you're not really sure what's happening with the plant. It's just not looking good. And of course, you can always send us a picture and we'll take a look at it for you, try to diagnose what's happening. But this is a nice type of natural control you can keep in your arsenal. And if there's something happening, this is usually a good treatment. Just follow the directions as labeled. There's different application rates depending on what the pest is. But other than that, this is very easy to use. Another thing that we talk about in February is birds. So do take care of your songbirds out there, our feathered friends during the winter. February is always a good time to think about cleaning that bird feeder again. If you cleaned it before you put it out for the winter, it's a good time to just if it's a nice day out there, take the feeder down. Hopefully it's been, emptied by your feathered friends, and then go ahead and rinse it out and make sure that you scrub it really well with soapy hot water, and then go ahead. It's really good to dip it in a low percentage bleach solution. So usually 1 part bleach, 9 to 10 parts water. So again, something like that is really, really helpful. And then fill with seed, and whatever works best for you, whether it's black oil sunflower, which is really good for them at this time of year, high oil content, high protein content, that's always really good too. So whatever works for you, and suet as well. So if you can put your suet out there, blocks, suet balls, there's really cool filled suet that has kind of high energy filling in them now. So there's lots of different options with your suet as well. So that will work really, really nicely. And if you're dreaming about spring, one other thing that you can do, of course, is come and shop for seeds. So February is when we start some of the longer germinating seeds that take a longer time. Things like perennials, if you're wanting to grow different plants, perennial plants out there, flowering plants, February is usually a good time to get those started. So do think about that as well. February is a great month for that. Enjoy.